You were programmed to survive, not thrive. And that's why even trying everything, prosperity still seems to slip out of your hands. But now the time has come to break that code. They've discovered how to hack reality, and you're about to do the same. 4 techniques, based on neuroscience and quantum energy, that are changing the lives of those who dare to apply them. And the 4th is a personal revolution. Prepare yourself for an immersion that not only explains, but unlocks true richness, the kind that begins within and explodes without. If you are tired of going in circles, the time has come to align your mind, your energy, and your action. Your new reality begins now, and all you have to do is not leave this video. Did you know that small adjustments to your energy, based on neuroscience and energetic alignment, can transform how prosperity flows into your life? Today, I'm going to share 4 practical techniques to unlock what we call true wealth. Imagine waking up to new opportunities appearing, clearer decision-making, and that lingering sense of stagnation fading away. It's not magic. Studies show that our beliefs and mental patterns can be reprogrammed to create real, lasting changes. If you've tried everything and still feel your efforts were never enough, know that it's not your fault. Our brain and our beliefs hold us back, but these simple techniques help free your energy and align your actions with your goals on the path to genuine prosperity. Hello, I'm Prosperum, your mentor on the Enriching Attitude channel. Make sure you're already subscribed. This channel was created to help you grow rich. Stay until the end to discover the ultimate technique, what ties everything together and makes sense of it all, so don't miss a single second on the road to true prosperity. First technique. We would like to start by exploring our first technique for nurturing true wealth, meaning a genuine abundance that encompasses both internal well-being and external prosperity. At this point, our goal is to identify and release any blockages that disrupt our flow of energy, the natural current of thoughts and feelings that foster abundance. We will do this by refining our quantum perception, which is the ability to recognize how everything is interconnected on an energetic level and how our choices can influence outcomes. This subtle shift lays the groundwork for mental reprogramming, helping us reshape the beliefs that limit our ability to thrive. We trust this process because neuroplasticity, meaning the brain's ability to reorganize itself and form new connections, supports our ongoing growth. By recognizing that our quantum consciousness, or the understanding that reality is flexible and shaped by our focus, is always active, we access a higher level of creation. And as we define these steps, we must remember that the 4th technique, which is yet to come, will be the most essential, but we will only fully grasp its potential if we thoroughly absorb the previous ones. We call this first method calibrating the inner lens, because we're clearing our perception matrix, which is the set of beliefs, experiences, and mental filters that determine how we interpret the world. We notice that many of us were taught to see scarcity instead of abundance, so our mental pattern, how the mind typically reacts to circumstances, often leans toward limitation. To change this, we practice visualization and intention, which is simply forming clear images of our goals while holding a strong desire to achieve them. This step not only modifies our energetic field, the invisible field that surrounds and connects us, carrying our thoughts and emotions, but it also redefines our self-image. For example, we can devote a few minutes each morning to imagining ourselves receiving inspiring opportunities. This helps the observer effect, the principle that the mere act of observing something can influence it, work in our favor. By deliberately choosing to focus on positive possibilities, we notice how energy and reality move together, opening doors to richer experiences. Let's demystify the idea of the quantum mirror, which is basically a metaphor suggesting that our reality reflects our beliefs and intentions by bringing it into everyday life. Picture someone who constantly believes they're unlucky. That person usually runs into more setbacks because they train their mind to spot problems. By adopting the concept of quantum flow, the continuous movement of energies and possibilities we can tune into, we program ourselves to look for opportunities. Our mind then shifts our focus toward solutions rather than conflicts, reinforcing a more positive mental pattern. It's not about ignoring challenges. It's about recognizing that our quantum reality, the personal world we create through our thoughts and emotions, can change as we perceive it differently. With this approach, we allow ourselves to expand, leaving behind limiting beliefs. those ideas that hold us back, and moving towards self-realization, the fullest use of our potential. A practical example could be a short morning routine where we visualize an ideal scenario. We see ourselves presenting ideas confidently at work or feeling financially secure as we handle day-to-day expenses. This sense of the power of intention, the ability to focus our minds and create tangible change, stimulates our neuroscience of wealth, which is simply the study of how the brain adapts to prosperity-oriented habits. It also fuels our transformative energy, the force that brings about internal changes and is reflected in the external world. Over time, we discover new ways to reinforce our mental freedom, meaning the sense of liberation that arises when we realize we are more than our fears. We notice that turning a negative situation into a learning opportunity becomes much simpler when we view it through the lens of the observing consciousness, which is the mindful stance of noticing how our focus shapes what we experience. Thus, this first technique speaks of a gentle reconditioning, proving that abundance is neither a coincidence nor luck. It is the result of sustained concentration and intentional thinking. Let's remember that, while this approach may seem simple, it goes well beyond superficial positive thinking. We consciously acknowledge the concept of applied quantum physics, which is merely the scientific field that demonstrates how the smallest units of matter and energy behave in surprising, interconnected ways, to support our belief that, in fact, everything is connected. As our perception changes, our energetic field aligns with the new reality we envision, providing renewed momentum to change old habits. For instance, we had an acquaintance who never saw any possibility of financial stability. She believed she would always be in difficulties. When she realized how mental reprogramming and neuroplasticity could reshape her mental filters, she began devoting 10 minutes a day to visualization and intention. Within just a few weeks, job invitations and unexpected opportunities started appearing, proving that energy and reality move in an interconnected way. We recommend advancing one day at a time, allowing your self-knowledge, that awareness of yourself gained by looking inward, to guide the intensity of your practice. Some of us find it helpful to jot down each insight to track this evolution, while others prefer meditation or group discussions. What's important is that we put calibrating the inner lens into action so that limiting beliefs lose ground. This frequent practice paves the way for a profound energetic transformation, which is the major shift in our energy patterns, showing how small mindset adjustments can bring significant real-life consequences. And remember that each step prepares us for the next one. If we rush too quickly into more sophisticated strategies, like the upcoming fourth technique, the big game changer, we may miss the fundamental insights that make it effective. It's worth highlighting the importance of spiritual awakening, nothing more than a deeper understanding of who we are and how we connect to the universe throughout this entire process. Our energetic unity, the perception that we are part of a single energy field, becomes more visible when we realize our thoughts, emotions, and beliefs act as signals shaping our everyday life. We've seen people who never gave credit to these ideas, but ended up discovering just how capable they were once they put them into practice. By combining neuroplasticity with wealth techniques, which are practical steps to increase prosperity, we begin to see transformations in areas that go beyond finances, extending into our relationships. This combination keeps us motivated and curious to delve even deeper, fueling a cycle of continuous growth. And yes, the more attention we devote to each little change now, the more prepared we will be for that fourth technique, which connects all these concepts in a brain. As we conclude this overview of the first technique, let's keep in mind that true transformation depends on consistent, patient effort. We've only scratched the surface of how quantum perception can lead us toward genuine wealth, but the possibilities already become clear once we commit to practicing. Think of each day as an invitation to observe how the observer effect operates at every moment, from noticing coincidences that seem too perfect to be accidental, to recognizing how negative thoughts often generate negative outcomes. As we become more intentional each day, we strengthen our connection with the quantum flow, and that sense of wonder only grows. Next, we will discuss our second technique, which delves even deeper into how the mind and quantum reality intertwine. However, for now, let us keep practicing these initial steps, knowing that each small realization shapes our future. And so we move forward, fueling the pace that will lead us to the indispensable fourth technique, Now, if all this is expanding your consciousness, it is because you no longer belong to the ordinary. You are emerging, and this transformation deserves to be recognized. Leave your like right now, like someone who activates a seal of commitment to its new version. It's not just a gesture, it's a vibrational code that echoes, "I'm ready. I've already started." Here, you are not an audience. You are part of a rare community, which already understands that thriving is an energetic right, not a privilege for a few. And if you found this first technique revealing, what comes next will call into question everything you thought you knew about energy, emotion, and manifestation. Take a deep breath. The dive will now get even deeper. Second technique. Now, with the first technique in mind, it's time to reinforce that foundation with a second approach aimed at expanding our true wealth, that genuine abundance that combines inner well-being with external prosperity. We'll refine our quantum perception, meaning the ability to recognize that everything is connected on an energetic level, and apply it more practically to our daily lives. This method delves deeper into our perception matrix, the collection of beliefs and mental filters that shape our view of the world, helping us break free from unwanted patterns. We'll also revisit neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to reorganize and form new neural connections, to show how repetition and consistency can yield lasting changes. Ultimately, our goal here is to strengthen our mental reprogramming so that each choice and emotion aligns with the flow of energetic wealth, the powerful current that fuels our capacity for achievement. As we expand these ideas, we keep our sights on the horizon, remembering that a truly decisive fourth technique still awaits us. We call this second strategy training the emotional field. Think of it as the task of tuning your energetic field, this invisible field that connects all living beings, carrying our emotions and intentions, so that it aligns with your deepest goals. To do this, we use visualization and intention, which is the exercise of mentally picturing a desired outcome while focusing intently on making it real. Here, we add an emotional layer, deliberately evoking the feelings we'd have if the desired situation were already our reality. By doing so, we intensify our quantum consciousness, the understanding that our mind and the universe are subtly linked, shaping reality through focus. According to applied quantum physics, which is the scientific study of how the smallest units of matter and energy connect in surprising ways, both thought and emotion influence what we perceive as real. If we cultivate positive, confident emotions, we reinforce a mental pattern, our mind's usual way of interpreting experiences, that's more open to opportunities. To understand why our emotional state matters so much, it's worth recalling the observer effect, the principle that by paying attention to something, we're already influencing it in some way. Imagine walking into a room feeling confident and enthusiastic. Conversations likely flow more smoothly, and people respond more warmly. On the other hand, entering the same setting filled with insecurity often results in awkward silences or missed chances. This illustrates the fundamental role of emotions in shaping our quantum reality, the personal world we form through our focus and beliefs. By recognizing that energy and reality go hand in hand, it becomes clear that our emotional vibration can change what happens around us. This doesn't mean ignoring negative thoughts, but rather training, through mental reprogramming, to redirect them more gently. Over time, it becomes easier to maintain elevated feelings that support our self-realization, the manifestation of our highest potential. A practical way to adopt this second technique is to set aside a few minutes each day to consciously evoke emotions tied to abundance. For instance, we might close our eyes and picture receiving news of a successful investment or a promotion, letting excitement and gratitude become fully alive in our body. This energetic stance, our emotion and intention working together, strengthens our energetic connection, the link between us and our surroundings, reinforcing the idea of the quantum mirror, which is really a metaphor suggesting that reality reflects our inner state. It's as if the universe reads our emotional signal and responds in kind. Of course, this doesn't guarantee immediate material results, but it does expand our energetic unity, the understanding that everything within and around us is interconnected. As we practice this method consistently, we notice how subtle changes in our mood open clear paths to manifesting true wealth. Why does this work? Because with wealth neuroscience, the study of how our brain adapts to prosperity-oriented habits, we discover that repeating emotional experiences creates stronger neural connections. This principle is directly linked to neuroplasticity. Each time we intentionally generate a positive emotional state, we deepen the grooves in our mind, sustaining that optimistic, resourceful mindset. As these neural pathways strengthen, it becomes easier to bounce back from setbacks and see opportunities even in everyday situations. We call this interchange energetic transformation, the internal shift that ends up producing effects in the world around us, and it typically begins as soon as we take responsibility for our beliefs. By combining daily emotional training with strong intentional power, our capacity to shape reality through mental focus, we pave the way to go beyond the old limiting beliefs, restrictive ideas that once held us back. Though it may seem simple, a key point is consistency. Many people try this practice for a few days, but revert to old habits when life's challenges arise. This is where our observer consciousness, the attentive stance of noticing how our focus shapes our experience, comes in. When we recognize a negative emotional cycle, maybe irritation or lack of faith, we pause, reflect, and try to recapture the positive feelings of confidence and gratitude. Over time, we start to reconfigure our mental pattern. The emotional frequencies we practice daily become our automatic responses, drawing new developments into our lives. It's not about forcing a smile. Rather, it's about cultivating an internal environment that translates into better decisions, healthier relationships, and a mental freedom. The freedom of mind that emerges when we realize how powerful our thoughts and feelings can be. A practical example is someone who, after years of feeling financially stuck, decides to test this emotional training. Each morning, this person envisions living comfortably. They might picture their bills paid, a supportive network of friends, and a pleasant sense of relief. The more they prolong these feelings, the more they notice coincidences. Job openings appear, acquaintances offer help, and creative ideas to solve problems emerge almost effortlessly. This is the quantum flow in action, which is essentially the endless stream of possibilities we align with through focused intent. It's not magic. It's the mind-body system fully engaging in the search for opportunities. Along with coherent planning, these emotional sessions help the person realign energetically, bridging the gap between desire and action. Over time, a sense of spiritual awakening arises, a discovery of deeper truths, revealing a broadened purpose that goes beyond money. This is the perfect time to reflect on our lives and understand what changes we need to make to grow. If you want to learn more about this spiritual awakening as a true tool for transformation, an excellent resource is Soul Frequency Course. This course is led by Erico Late, who shares how his life was given new meaning after discovering the frequency of abundance. Through Joseph Campbell's monomyth theory, known as the hero's journey, he shows us that we all go through challenges similar to those he faced. If Erico could find the frequency of abundance and transform his reality, so can we all. This frequency allows us to create a balanced and fulfilling life, aligned in body, mind, and spirit. So, if you're ready to access this transformational frequency and change your destiny, be sure to check out the course. The link to it is in the first sticky comment of this video. As we conclude this second technique, let's remember that each layer we add sets the stage for even greater progress. By systematically training our emotional field, we establish a powerful foundation for the upcoming techniques, especially the fourth, which unites all these concepts in a big leap. Our goal is to keep a steady pace. We integrate these daily emotional practices, refine our mental reprogramming, and remain open to signs that our mental and energetic alignment is growing stronger. The more we cultivate these positive emotional states, the more robust our energetic field becomes, and the more visible real changes become in our daily lives. Next, we'll learn about the third technique, which delves even deeper into how we work with this awakened energy. Meanwhile, let's keep applying our emotional alignment, as it's a fundamental base for us to reach the profound secrets of true wealth that we'll soon reveal. Now tell me boldly in the comments, what concrete habit will you start applying today to align your emotion with your action? It doesn't have to be perfect. It needs to be true. By writing this, you are doing more than commenting. You are recording a vibrational engagement with the quantum field. You are saying to the universe, I am ready to co-create with intention and presence. And you are not alone on this journey. You are part of a silent but powerful group of awakened ones. Those who have decided to no longer wait for the future, but to shape it, consciously and energetically, with each choice made in the now. And if this movement has already boosted you, hold on tight. Because the next step will open portals. Literally. Let's dive into a dimension where synchronicities stop being coincidences and become clear signs of a spiritual awakening in progress. Get ready to recognize the hidden codes that the universe has sent just for you. Third technique. Now that we've refined our approach to cultivating true wealth, genuine abundance in both internal and external aspects, through the first two techniques, it's time to dive into the third. This new technique aims to reinforce the link between our daily actions and our quantum perception, which is our ability to understand that everything is interconnected at an energetic level. While the second method focused on aligning emotions and intentions, this one combines the power of consistency with a clear sense of purpose, ensuring our thoughts, feelings, and concrete steps move forward together. By applying a systematic routine, we reinforce the neural pathways shaped by neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to reorganize itself, making our goals feel more natural. Essentially, we want to broaden our quantum consciousness, the notion that our mind influences the reality we experience so deeply that it affects every decision. As always, we remind ourselves that our journey is leading us to the fourth technique, which ties all of these elements together in a transformative way. We call this third technique turning intentions into concrete actions. Often, we're highly motivated to create abundance, but fail to transform that energy into consistent habits. Our energetic field, the invisible field that carries our emotions and intentions, may be full of positive vibes, but we won't see lasting changes if we don't act. That's why we merge mental focus with everyday application, connecting our mental pattern, how our mind interprets situations, to real tasks. For example, if we've been practicing visualization and intention, the exercise of picturing goals is already achieved, we now link those images to small, immediate actions. This keeps us on track, reminding us that energy and reality really do move together, not just in theory, but in the concrete world we navigate daily. Let's break down how this technique works. First, we define the specific goal we want to bring into reality. It might be a financial milestone, improved relationships, or better health. Next, we apply the emotional exercise we learned in the second technique, fueling ourselves with excitement and gratitude. From that elevated state, we list 1 to 3 simple and immediate actions we can take that relate to our desire. Because we're tuned into our quantum reality, the personal world we shape through our beliefs and focus, these actions flow rather than feeling forced. We're strengthening our quantum mirror, the metaphor that shows reality, reflecting our beliefs and intentions, by demonstrating, we believe in this outcome, so we express it in our daily choices. This allows us to observe tangible transformations, fostering both our self-actualization, the fulfillment of our potential, and broader goals. An example might be someone aiming to start a profitable side business. This person has already spent weeks training emotional alignment and visualizing success. Now, they choose concrete steps such as researching an online market, messaging a mentor, or devoting half an hour each evening to planning. These steps may seem small, but each one strengthens the mental recalibration, the reshaping of our beliefs built by the previous techniques. Over time, our mind starts expecting progress, scanning the environment for opportunities. This is an energetic transformation, an internal shift that ends up resonating externally, in which confidence grows and our mental pattern turns into, I'm someone who takes action to achieve my goals. In the end, we see how small daily actions fit perfectly into the larger vision we've been nurturing. Let's talk about the importance of the observer effect, the principle that by focusing our attention on something, we alter it in some way. In this context, we direct our concentration toward the path to abundance, so opportunities inevitably become more prominent. As we maintain consistency, we reinforce the idea that our energetic unity, the sense that our thoughts, emotions, and environment form a whole, goes beyond abstract theory. It becomes real, When we notice that a phone call, a quick bit of research, or a positive conversation yields unexpected benefits. Each success story feeds our quantum perception, reminding us that our daily choices hold the power to shape the future. The influence of neuroplasticity ensures these repeated experiences deepen the new neural routes, letting us sustain this elevated mental state. It's important to stress that we're not suggesting everything will always go perfectly. Challenges will arise, and it's precisely in those moments that our observing consciousness, the stance of noticing how our focus shapes our experience, proves its worth. Instead of feeling defeated, we pause and acknowledge the discomfort, then gently guide ourselves back to our habit of action. This harmony between mental clarity and concrete tasks gradually dissolves limiting beliefs, the restrictive thoughts that no longer serve us. We realize that a setback or temporary stumble doesn't define us. It's merely part of the journey. By handling difficulties with balance, we reinforce our mental freedom. The sense of independence that emerges when we realize our potential isn't limited to a single mistake. Over time, we notice how this commitment to daily progress fuels a true spiritual awakening, which is essentially the understanding of deeper dimensions of who we are, as it highlights how inherently connected we are to our surroundings. Our quantum flow, the constant stream of possibilities we align with, becomes clearer as new people, information, and resources appear. From a strictly rational perspective, we might say it's a matter of cause and effect. Since we're looking, we end up finding. But there's a subtle sense that everything is aligning more smoothly, suggesting this quantum panorama where energy and reality work together. As we witness this harmony, our confidence in the techniques grows stronger, and we become increasingly motivated to share what we've learned. But like any skill, mastering this new way of living in line with these convictions requires time and dedication. And to help you on this path of transformation, we're making our exclusive ebook available. The Science Behind the Law of Attraction: How Positive Thoughts Shape Your Reality. In this material, you'll find complementary strategies to the techniques we explored here, fortifying your mental reprogramming process. The ebook is available in the first pinned comment, ready for you to download and take another step toward the life of your dreams. As we conclude our overview of the third technique, let's remember that each step we take is preparing the ground for the much-anticipated fourth technique. By turning intentions into tangible actions, we anchor the emotional and mental work we've done so far into our daily routine, showing the universe and ourselves that we're truly committed. Soon we'll present the final piece of this puzzle, a method that links everything into a powerful formula for true wealth. Until then, we keep improving our daily habits, aware that each step adds to our momentum. In this process, we see how simple, intentionally repeated actions awaken our full quantum potential. So let's stay steady on this path, trusting that the culmination of all our efforts is closer than ever. Throughout this third technique, you have already activated something that goes far beyond logic. Your energy field has already begun to move with another frequency, a frequency of action, not just intention. And when that happens, a new code of reality begins to be written, one where you are no longer alone. You are now part of a quantum current of transformation, a silent collective of awakened minds who have chosen to co-create their reality with consciousness and intention. And that's why right now, you already feel the urge to contribute to this movement. Share this video right now. Spreading this message is more than an act of generosity. It's a signal to the universe that you have embraced your role as an agent of expansion. You are saying, "I am ready to lead, not just follow." And the universe responds, always responds, to the messenger who shares wisdom. And here's a powerful reminder. Those who persist to the end of this video receive something that initiates already know, a rare key, capable of aligning mind, matter, and destiny. The next technique is the culmination of this journey, the fusion of the previous three into a single, transformative, irresistibly practical, and spiritually potent practice. Take a deep breath. The synchronized immersion is about to begin. Fourth technique. We've now arrived at our fourth technique, the one we've been preparing for since we first introduced the concept of true wealth, which is genuine abundance both in our inner world and in our external achievements. This method unites everything we've learned so far about quantum perception, the ability to understand that everything is connected on an energetic level, and turns it into a catalyst for major leaps forward. We'll take each skill we've developed, emotional alignment, consistent action, and clarity of purpose, and fuse them into a single practice. By doing this, we begin to explore our energetic field more deeply, that invisible field carrying our thoughts and intentions, guiding it with greater precision. The end result is not just about attracting prosperity. It's a mental reprogramming, the process of reshaping beliefs, so profound that our world changes from the inside out. Let's carefully break down each element, keeping in mind that this final technique completes the foundation of our enrichment. We call this practice synchronized immersion. In essence, it's a structured way to unite visualization and intention, mentally replaying our goals as if they were already real, with physical, emotional, and spiritual commitment. We've already made use of neuroplasticity, the brain's capacity to reorganize, by gradually creating new patterns of thought and emotion, but synchronized immersion multiplies these effects. We do this by setting aside a specific time of day, usually 20 to 30 minutes, during which we fully immerse ourselves in the experience of already having achieved what we desire. By letting every detail come alive, from the smell of the setting to the emotional feeling of triumph, we train our mind to accept these images as part of our quantum reality, the personal world shaped by our beliefs and focus. This reinforces the quantum mirror, that metaphorical mirror reflecting our inner state, so that our external life keeps in tune with it. Why is this approach so powerful? It systematically uses the observer effect, the principle that our attention affects what we observe, channeled through a profound layer of self-awareness, the consciousness of who we are internally. Instead of just thinking positive once in a while, we anchor our observing consciousness, this vigilant stance of noticing how our focus shapes reality, in a highly detailed, long-lasting success scenario. This flow of transformative energy, the force that drives internal changes, shapes our mental pattern, the way we process our experiences, tracing out new neural pathways in the brain. In other words, we stop being spectators of our desires and become active participants, feeding our quantum flow, the continuous sequence of possibilities, with unwavering conviction. As a result, each moment of synchronized immersion redefines both our internal narrative and expands our connection to the outside world in ways that might initially seem surprising. A practical way to apply this is to create a calm space, maybe a quiet room or a cozy corner, where we can reduce distractions. Then we consciously generate emotions tied to our highest goals, letting this wave of feelings flood our entire energetic field. We can use supportive tools like music, affirmations, or even scents to awaken our senses and enhance our quantum perception. If our focus is financial prosperity, for instance, we can imagine ourselves checking our bank account and seeing the exact amount we desire, feeling relief, pride, and gratitude wash over us. If health is our priority, we can picture waking up with boundless energy, ready to take on the day. By filling our mind and body with these sensations, we employ wealth-building techniques that go beyond mere optimistic wishing. By filling our mind and body with these sensations, we are employing wealth techniques that go beyond simple optimistic wishing. Leave your like right now as a gesture of reciprocity for this content that is nourishing your consciousness and activating new possibilities on your journey to triumph. This simple act reinforces your tune with abundance and sends a clear command for the universe to respond to your vibration of expansion. An essential detail is to incorporate small real-world actions right after each immersion session, so that energy and reality continue to move together. For example, if we've spent 20 minutes living our dream venture, we can use another 10 minutes to research local markets or send important emails. This step consolidates the daily mental reprogramming we've been developing, showing our subconscious that we're committed on all fronts: mental, emotional, and physical. Not only do we benefit from the neuroscience of wealth, the study of training the brain for prosperity, but we also see in real time signs that our immersion is merging our inner experience with tangible results. Thus, each victory reinforces the dismantling of limiting beliefs, restrictive ideas, and creates a real sense of mental freedom, the feeling of breaking free from old labels. It's important to clarify that although this technique can be exciting, it can also bring up hidden doubts or fears. This is perfectly normal and can be seen as a sign of energetic transformation, the change that occurs when old vibrations surface, ready to be released. Instead of running from them, We acknowledge them and then reaffirm the clarity of our vision. In doing so, we put our quantum consciousness, this notion that the mind and the universe co-create, into practice to turn those uncertainties into stepping stones for growth. With each immersion cycle, we refine the signature of our energetic unity, the understanding that we're part of a single field, strengthening our ability to see opportunities and resources arising in everyday life. In short, we move from being mere observers of change to active co-creators of our destiny. The most inspiring accounts usually come from people who apply synchronized immersion with discipline for at least 30 consecutive days. They talk about meeting the right individuals at events, receiving phone calls at just the right time, or discovering information that saves months of trial and error. From a logical standpoint, it may look like coincidence, but from the perspective of applied quantum physics, the scientific view that highlights interconnection at the deepest levels, it's a natural outcome of keeping our energetic field constantly aligned. When we live our success daily, our observer effect leans toward solutions rather than obstacles. This ongoing alignment helps confirm that our quantum reality is, in fact, malleable, guided by where we place our attention and by the intensity of belief in our new narrative. This fourth technique represents the pinnacle of all the skills we've learned along the way. It's our invitation to stop merely dreaming of true wealth and start living it, day after day. We unite visualization and intention, emotional alignment, consistent action, and an immersive daily practice into one cohesive set. By noticing how each part reinforces the others, we grasp the synergy that transforms mental constructs into real change. As we refine these steps, the boundary between imagination and tangible manifestation grows increasingly thin, revealing that mental reprogramming truly has the power to shape outcomes. Now that we've shared each essential method in detail, beginning with the first technique, moving through the second and third, and culminating here, it's up to each of us to practice them and watch the path unfold toward true wealth. We have presented each of the four techniques so that our ability to attract true wealth becomes visible in our everyday lives. Now it's time to put everything into practice. If we stay stuck in theory only, our quantum flow, the uninterrupted stream of possibilities, ends up not being utilized. So, let's ask ourselves, are we truly willing to break through old blockages and let our energy and reality come together in a way that amplifies success? When we commit and apply these techniques, visualizing, aligning our emotions, taking consistent action, and immersing ourselves daily, we give our mental reprogramming the power to change our entire course. We believe that by practicing this continuously, we won't just see small improvements, but a real transformation. As you're ready to go further, there is another essential teaching in our previous video. He reveals that, while you think, they get rich. In it, you discover the 7 attitudes that keep you poor and how to avoid them by teaching a secret method that accelerates the adjustments of your vibrations in such a way that you can see results in just 7 days. Allow yourself this advancement. Click on the next video that appears on your final screen and discover how to master these steps. As you approve this content, do your part, subscribe, like and share with your friends and become a member. And now click on the end screen video and we'll see you there. See you soon.